All right, welcome to our Lunch and Grow. I am super excited to have Tuyen on with us today to share her story. And I'm just going to let you take it away. I want to hear, what your life was like before Thrive. Have you ever been in network marketing before? And then just your journey along the way to 200K, what that looked like. So I'm just going to let you take it away from here.
All right. Thank you, Jody. This is actually the first time kind of talking to you and meeting you, but I've heard so much about you through Toby. And thank you, Toby, for setting this up and having me on. You guys, I think we cap out at 100. So make sure you guys are sending your reminders now and get them to get on now. And the cap, the Thrive password, let them know that it's just the capital T. So I know that I was having a little bit of issue with that. So thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Tuyen. I am actually from Vancouver, Canada. I am 32 years old this year, and I have two, one almost a teenager. He is 12 this year, and a 5-year-old daughter, 5 years this year. So they're both in school right now. They're both, thank God, my daughter started school this year, so now I have all this time to do this business and to do more. And anyway, so I think my story really, I want to start back way back when, even when I was before my 20s, because I truly think that the person that we are today comes from our experiences, our hardship and adversity that we had to go through before. What we experienced and how we go through it and how we learn from it really shapes us to be the kind of person that we are. So I was already living on my own before graduation, high school graduation. My parents kind of just went separate ways, and I had the choice to stay where I was, which was on my own, or move to Montreal with my dad. And I was like, I had a boyfriend at the time, I'm just going to stay where I was. So that forced me to go get a part-time job after school. So high school, after 3, bust my butt to my job, and then 10 o'clock I was done, and then went home. It was all over doing that again. So I was in a really toxic relationship. At 20 years old, I had my son. So I was a young mom. And 2 years later, I decided to end that relationship and went out on my own, being a single mom at 22. And it was hard. And why I tell you that I went through that is because I've learned so much from that. I learned that what I didn't want from my life, what I didn't want from my son. And I've just learned that, the struggle bus was real and it's not easy on your own. So the issue with that was, I had to work, and then I had my son at the time. He wasn't old enough to go to school yet. So it was either pay for daycare, work more, which paid for daycare, or work less, and I didn't have to pay for daycare. So it was really a struggle, to the point where after a year, I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I had to ask for help. I had to reach out for help, which led me to my dad all the way from, Montreal, where I was actually 6-hour flight away. So across the country. I sent my son there for a good 6 months, and I decided to get myself back into school, find something to do that will pay me a solid salary. And I got into auto insurance. And guess what? I thought this was going to be it. I'm going to have this amazing career, 9 to 5, a regular 9 to 5 that's going to give me a steady income where I can support my son, pay for rent, live on my own, all that stuff, right? And it was not it. I didn't know that, to do well in that industry, you have to build a book of business, which will require years and years of experience. And so it got to a point where, it got to a point where, I couldn't provide the way that I could or I wanted to. My phone bills was getting cut off. I couldn't pay for my cable bill. So I actually had no cable for my son at that time. And he, people would come over and be like, hey, why isn't your TV working? Or, hey, where's the TV? And I would say, oh, my TV's broken, I'm getting it fixed. I would lie to my friends about that because it was kind of embarrassing, right? And then I decided to pick up a second thing because obviously one thing wasn't paying me enough. And then at that time I went and I got pregnant again. And then before I actually got pregnant, I actually put myself back into school. I did a course for permanent makeup tattooing, which was, tattooing eyebrows, lips, eyeliner, all that stuff, right? So that was really good because, the money was great. You see a client and it was a $500 $500 session, right? Because people pay a lot for that stuff. So I was doing that, and I was still doing auto insurance, and I was still taking care of my son. So I had no time freedom. I had a lot of bills still. I had, again, no time freedom and no help really, right? And then I got pregnant with my daughter, and then when I was on mat leave, I told myself every single day, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't keep taking time away from my family. I don't want that. I want more time freedom. I had 2 jobs, I didn't want to do the 9 to 5 anymore. It was like an on-call kind of thing. So it was like some days were 12-hour days. And then one day, this person, that kind of saved me and changed my life. Her name's Tanya. She's actually the person that introduced me to Thrive. She messaged me and she wanted to book in for an eyebrow session, right? She wanted to do her eyebrows with me. And I think it was fate that brought us together, because she was actually trying to book in with someone else for like the last year. And luckily, that person was so busy and she couldn't get an appointment. So she kind of fell back for me, thank God, right? When I met her, she wasn't doing Thrive at the time. She was this, she was this beautiful lady. I looked at her and I was so intimidated because she looked so good. She was like a soccer mom. She was doing all this for her kids. And I was like, I want to be like that, right? And then she didn't see me after that session for a good 4 months. And then 4 months later, she messaged me on Instagram. That's a tip for you guys, because the first time she actually messaged me on through email. So she messaged me on Instagram, and I guess this was when she was thriving for a bit already. And then she's like, hey, can I come in for a touch up? And that was when I was exposed to Thrive. I went on her Instagram. I saw these amazing before and after pictures of people losing weight. And at the time, I was 7 months postpartum, trying everything I could to lose that last 10 pounds or 5 pounds, even, like anything. I was working out 6 days a week. I was very restricted to my diet, didn't eat very much. 1,200 calories, no fat, no sugar, no oil, no nothing. I was just trying to lose weight, right? I wasn't feeling good about myself. I was so exhausted. I was drinking 6 cups of coffee a day. I was grumpy. I was moody. I felt like being a mom was a responsibility and a job, I didn't enjoy it. Like, I just wanted to make sure that they were fed, they were alive, and they were put to bed so that I can have time to myself so I can sleep. My poor son at the time, he was 7 years old, and me as a mom, I was terrible. He would wake up on his own, got himself ready, dressed ready, put his waffles in the toaster, and 5 minutes before school, then he'll wake me up and be like, hey, Mom, it's time for school. And then I would yell at the kid and be like, get out of my room, because I didn't want to get up. But I did that, and then it was just a cycle of that, right? So when I saw Thrive, I thought it was just a weight loss product. I didn't know it was vitamins. I asked her, I was like, hey, when you come in for your touch-up appointment, can you tell me a little bit about the sticker, this weight loss sticker? And she's like, yes, sure, all about it. She came in and she was a different person. She was so preppy. She was so like happy. She had so much energy. She just seemed, I wasn't as intimidated the second time around, because she talked to me a lot more the first time. She was just kind of like to herself, right? And then she told me about this thing, and she told me about mental clarity, about how, this amazing thing was giving her energy. She just feels so much better. And I didn't hear any of that. All I wanted was weight loss. So everything that she was saying was going in one ear and out the other. And then at the end, I was like, Tanya, just give me whatever package for weight loss that it is. Like, I don't need anything else. And then she planted the seed early on, which is another tip for you guys to do when you guys are seeing people like having that like hour or so with people. She told me, Tuyen, like, the products are great, it works, it's amazing, but the compensation plan and the opportunity here is out of this world. So she said that, and this thing in my head went off like, oh, pyramid, blah blah, another one of those company thing, da da da. She's trying to recruit me, and again, one ear and out the other. I'm like, no, Tanya, I just want the product. I just want to lose weight. And she's like, okay, I'll message you the link when I get home, and then we'll get you on the dual. And it was brand new dual sticker just came out at the time. And that was what was causing so much like crazy weight loss, right? And then I came home, I waited for her to send me her link. And obviously she's so busy running around, taking her kids to everywhere. She didn't message me all day. And then I remember at 8:30, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to message her now, because I think 8:30 is long enough for me to wait to message her so I don't look like a creep, message her. I'm like, hey, Tanya, can you send me the link? She sent it to me, walked me through everything. And then I got to the checkout part and I was like, wow, this is in USD. This is $220 USD. And that is a lot of money for me at the time because, I just got my credit card back finally after not having it for like years because my credit was so bad. And then, I already had bills accumulated on it or debt accumulated on it. Yeah. And there was no free shakes back then. So we had the one shake, one lifestyle capsule and the DFT. So I walked around in my living room up and down for a good 30 minutes deciding and thinking if I should do this or not. And you guys remember, no one around me at the time knew about Thrive. No one around me at the time was thriving. It was just her, right? And it was just everything that I was seeing on Instagram, on her Instagram, not even anyone else's. And thank God after 30 minutes of deciding, I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to do it, just try it, right? I was one of those that will try anything and everything, but the price did scare me a little bit, but thank God at the end I did it because look at where we are now, right? My package came 10 days later on my birthday, actually. So I always say it was like the present from the universe. It kind of saved me from everything. And I did it. I didn't reach out to her. I did it. I read kind of the back, and this is so important for you to make sure that you guys are following up with people or telling them to message you when they get the package because they won't know, right? Did it completely wrong, was still drinking coffee, was still eating terribly. But wow, these products were amazing. I saw results. I saw changes within me, even though I did it wrong. I wasn't expecting energy. I wasn't expecting to wake up earlier. I wasn't expecting a change in my mood. I knew that if this was a weight loss thing, it would take a little bit longer, but within 10 days, I felt like I saw changes with my body already. My thigh gaps were getting bigger, my clothes were getting looser, my bloating was gone. And then I noticed like internal changes, like the energy, the no more coffee, the mood, the waking up earlier, the no more nap, the more patience. And then that was when I went onto the Facebook fan page, and then I started reading people's testimonies. So you guys, I was very curious when I found that these products were working. And thank God that, Tanya walked me through all of the thing, walked me through how to access the website. There's another tip for you guys. Like, don't do this for your people. Don't sign them up by yourself. Don't help them with the order. Make them order themselves. Because she did that, I started going into the website by myself and reading all kinds of stuff, getting way more curious, starting to do my own research about what this company is because I felt the product's working, right? And then I was wearing my sticker loud and proud. I was already planting seed with all my friends. I'm like, hey, I'm trying this weight loss thing. If it works, you guys need to try it. I was doing that on my own because I was one of those that like, if I really like something, I do not shut up about it. So my friends were like, okay. Like they already kind of like knew I was doing something, but they had no idea what it was. I wasn't giving too much information. I just told them, wait. And then I was like, I freaking fell in love. I saw the changes. I felt the changes. I messaged Tanya. I'm like, oh my goodness, like my friends are asking me about this and like, what do I do? And she was like, you know what, Twin, like it's a free opportunity. If you're already talking about it with your friends, you might as well click that promoter button because there's no loss, there's no risk, right? You're already sharing it. I was like, okay, you know what? Okay. So I went through a little bit of training first before I clicked that promoter button. And then August 5th, I clicked that promoter button and everything changed. I hit my VIP within the first week, my VIP 1600 within the second week. And those VIP bonuses was what changed my mindset for this business because I had so much fun sharing these products. And I was making way more money in the first 2 weeks than I was like my whole month of being in my 9 to 5. So that literally made me realize that, hey, maybe I can do something else that is better. And on top of that, it was giving me the time and freedom to be at home with my daughter because I was just working from my phone. So that was when kind of like a month later, within that month, I hit my auto bonus. I went 12K in 21 days, I think. And, that skeptical like thing, I was like, Tanya, like, how am I going to maintain this and that? And she's like, don't worry, you will. I was like, okay. And then I think in September, I went 40K and I actually earned 2 leadership boards. So beginning of September, I earned a $9,000 US PPA leadership board. And then at the end, in October, actually, I earned, I was able to get, one of the first prizes for another leadership board, which was a $35,000 USD prize. I went on my first lifestyle getaway in October as a guest. And I was working the whole time trying to like get on top of that leaderboard. So my journey at the beginning grew really, really quick. And it was like holy crap, what just happened? All of this literally just happened in 2 months' time. My life completely changed. I went from having debts to having no debts to having savings, from having no time to having so much time to like this and that. And yeah, within that 2 months, I knew that this was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And my manager called me. I was like, no, I'm not going back to auto insurance. I decided to, cancel a lot of my book, not cancel a lot of my eyebrow booking, but take less, to the point where I wasn't taking anymore. So yeah, within that first 6 months, yeah, I was completely just thriving full time. So that was how I started in my journey. So it was really, really fast. I know that you wanted to talk about like the fast and the slow, the ups and the downs. And yes, I had a lot of downs. So when you come in with ignorance on fire and you don't know what you're doing and you have no idea about this business, I grew really fast doing what I was doing, but what I was doing was not duplicatable. I think in October, I remember signing 80 new people on Thrive, like 80 PPA in October. I was just like, everyone I was talking to, I was like, thrive, 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 right? And no one around me knew about it. So it was a thing. It was this new thing, right? So people wanted to try. And when you sign that many people, you guys, what are the chances of being able to follow up with all those people? Now that's just in October. In August, I started, and in September, I started. So just imagine how many people assigned within those 3 months. And how do you really, no one told me that, hey, make sure you guys are keeping track of everyone and like following up with everyone. Like my upline just saw this one Asian girl came in and signed all this people, and then by the time, like 2 months later, they're like, okay, she's serious. And it was like 2 months of like not knowing what I was doing already, right? So yeah, I didn't know a lot about this business. So I was in this mentality, like I did all this, like I'm the shit, like, I must be really good at this business. So when people were noticing that I was growing, and they were noticing that, my upline was noticing and reaching down to me and like kind of giving me hints about like, hey, try doing this more and doing this more, and like basically giving me a bit of training tips, I was in this mentality, like, you know what, I already got this. Like, I'm doing really well. Like, I don't need to change it. And I was scared to change it. I was scared to do different things because I didn't want it to slow down, right? And that really hurt my business. Not being coachable really hurt my business, right? If I can go back now, I want to go back and like kick myself and be like, hey, I should have, to do this business and to know this business, I should have learned how to do. I should have listened to people that have been around for a long time, right? That trip, my first lifestyle getaway to Puerto Vallarta, as a guest, I met Chastity Marie, I met Jamie Pekka, I met Elisa K. Fuller. I was by myself. I didn't know anyone. I kind of was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. If something is coming into my life, an opportunity, I'm gonna take it. So I went scared, didn't know anyone, but that trip opened my eyes to a whole another world, because at the time I was at 40K going to that trip, and I thought I made it to the top because I didn't know there was 80K and 200. I didn't know what that meant. But seeing these people in front of me and listening to their conversation, about not ranks, no one talked about ranks, but people did talk about experiences, and people talked about what they've achieved because of this company, and most important, seeing how humble they were. Seeing how normal Chastity was, and then like Jamie over here is like, oh my God, like you need to get to know Chastity. She is like been in here for X amount of years. She's like top of this and top of that. Like she is amazing. And then I meet her and I was like, oh my gosh, she's like so normal, and she's talking to me and she's this big deal. Like, why is she talking to me? I'm nobody, right? But learning from that I learned a lot from. I came back and I was like, you know what? I understood the culture of this company. I understood what it's like to be a leader. or not what it's like to be a leader, but how to act as a leader, right? They were so down to earth. They were so humble. They were so nice. They didn't ask me for my rank. They didn't ask me like how long I've been in this business, how much I've grown. They didn't ask me for that. And the whole weekend, no one talked about rank. No one talked about how much money people were making. No one talked about any of that stuff. I went back from that trip. I was like, I want to be like that. Like, I want to grow. I want to be so big that, and I want to be that down to earth, that humble. I want to be just like them. So that taught me a lot, right? And then again, Chastity, she came up to me at the end, and I will never forget this conversation. At the end, we were at the airport, and she came up to me and she said bye, of course. And she's just like, Twin, like, I know, I see what you're doing. You're amazing, but you don't have to work so hard. Like, because I guess she sees me like signing all these people, but she saw no real duplications. She saw didn't see real team growth. She saw real, like, no leadership happening within my organization, even though I was like 40 to 80K, right? So that was her little hint to me. She's like, you don't have to work so hard. Just focus on bringing people in and helping them VIP and helping their people VIP, and just do that, right? Simply do that. And I still didn't understand it at the time. I was like, I knew what VIPs were. I was bringing everyone in, but I was telling everyone to come in, earn these VIP bonuses, and check out, because I didn't want to scare them. I knew the stigma around this business. I knew what people were thinking when I shared this opportunity. So I didn't want to scare them. I didn't want to lose people. So I would tell my people to come in, grab these bonuses that is on the table, sign their friends and their family. And you know what? After you grab those bonuses, if you don't want to do this business anymore, or whenever you want to make a few extra bucks, you can make some sales. If you don't, then you don't have to. So that was the kind of mentality I was implanting into people's heads. I was bringing them in, telling them it's very easy, and if it's not for them, it's not for them, they can leave. So I wasn't really setting the right expectations. So that was what happened. You know, how I was telling them is exactly what they were doing. They were coming in, they were leaving, and it was a constant just bringing people in and having people fall off. So there was no duplication, no leadership, right? People weren't in here for the business. People were in here for the quick money. I was in here for the business because I saw the vision, I saw the money, I saw the community, I saw all that, right? But they didn't. So I was setting a very, very low expectation as they were coming in for them. And that's what they were doing, right? So she told me that, and then went 80K that month, earned that leaderboard, thought I was on top of the world still. And then the following month in November, obviously the slow season, right? I fell back down to a 40K. And then December comes, I fell back down to a 12K. So I was losing no one was staying. I wasn't doing my follow-ups. I was still in that mentality of, if people liked it, they'll message me and tell me about it. If they don't, then I'll just find new people to thrive with me, right? So very, very not good. And then come January, still working my business. I didn't really have very many people working with me at the time, or like doing this business with me at the time. People were still coming in and out. And then February comes, and then, we get this email, this rank repeat email. And the rank repeat bonuses that Lavelle gives out are these crazy, massive amounts of money. Okay. Like, it's like a $400,000 bonus. And to get it, you have to be an 80K or 200K to qualify to even like run for it. So luckily I hit 80K in October, so I was able to qualify for it. But the qualifications, or to get it, you have to build brand new volume, brand new legs, up to like $200,000 worth of volume on brand new people starting from the beginning of the year. So basically everyone that I signed before January didn't count. So I saw that email and I was like, what? I'm at 12K. Like, how the hell am I going to do $200,000 in new volume after losing all this of like new people, and no one before then count? Like, I sat by myself for like a good amount of like minutes, and I was just like, what the hell just happened to me? Like, how am I going to do this? And then I sobbed for a little bit, and I pity partied myself for a little bit, and then I snapped out of it. I'm like, what do I need to do this? And then it went back to Chastity, what Chastity said. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I got to help a lot of people earn their bonuses. I got to help a lot of people VIP. I got to help a lot of people rank advance. And I just went and I just started sharing their opportunity every single day. Everyone, all of my customers, I was like, you know what, I'm going to help you earn these bonuses. We're going to do this, do this, do that. And that's what we did. And I actually was able to accomplish that within 3 months, which paid out the full, which qualifies me for the full $400,000 bonus. I don't want to make any income claims. But yeah, I freaking did it. And you know what, but then the thing about that was when I did achieve it, it wasn't as fun or it wasn't as meaningful as when I hit 200K in May of that year. Actually, that was when I learned how to become a leader, when that was, exposed to me, when I realized that I couldn't get to the top by myself. I don't want to, because when I earned that bonus, or when I qualified for that bonus, I sat in my room like, okay, cool. Like I don't even want to tell people, and I don't even want to share it with people, because it was just about me. It was just me earning it, right? Like no one else got it. I mean, a lot of people earned these amazing rank advances bonus, because I think at the time it was like 4K, 12K, all that stuff, right? Lavelle just does amazing, crazy things for us. But that was it. Like I earned it. I was like, okay, like that was just me. But when we hit 200K in May, it was a whole different feeling. Like, because I hit 200K, that means people were hitting 80K, people were hitting 40K, there was many 12Ks, and it was like a completely different feeling. And that was the second time that I cried in this business, not the 400K bonus, but when I hit that 200K advancement, because there were so many people on my team that has hit it too. The first time I cried was actually when I was like driving, and then we had like one of my checks hit, and then it was just like a really early in the beginning, I was just like a realization of like, is this my life now? Like, how did I become so lucky to have this fall into my lap and to have this happen to me, right? That was the first time that I cried, when I realized that. But yeah, that was the ups and the downs. Within the first year in business was a lot of learning, was a lot of, it was more downs than ups, because, I've never done this before. I've never experienced so many different personalities. I've never had to be that person that had to talk people out of things, like discouragement. I never had to be the person that had to motivate people. So I had to learn how to be like that. I never talked on Zooms like this. And because I didn't, none of my teams were doing it. So we weren't growing. There was no community, right? I mean, people were plugging into this, but it's not like their own community, right? So I had to learn, if I'm going to, be those things, I have to do those things. If I want to be a 200K, I have to start doing things that a 200K did. A lot of people were falling off because they didn't feel like they were a part of a team, and they didn't know what it felt like to be a part of a community like this. So I had to build it myself. And then afterwards, people that were coming in, they started seeing this amazing community that we were starting to build. They were seeing that it was like kind of fun doing this, right? So they got more serious. I don't know if some of you guys heard the story, but I actually had to go to like 3-4 lifestyle getaways by myself. I walked the stage the first year at Thrivepalooza by myself, because no one around me believed that this was a real thing, until they saw that I went a few times, and they're like, they got tired of watching me. They got tired of seeing me going on these trips and actually having fun and saying like, hey, this is work. And then that was when, 2 people decided to come. And then the next lifestyle getaway, it was 12, and then 20. And then now we have like upwards of like almost like 100 people at these trips. And now that people know what this is about, like it just keeps growing and growing. So yeah, so that was kind of, that was my journey, the first like year.
I love that. Oh my gosh. So as you were talking and about growing really, really fast, and then you got to the point where you realized that it wasn't working, the things you were doing were not duplicatable, and you had to grow into that leadership role. What are some of the things that you found were probably the biggest things that helped you to grow into that leadership role that you saw other leaders in?
Like what was like my aha moment?
Yeah.
Um, my biggest aha moment was that trip, right? Because, I did get to be around leaders, because again, at that time it was just myself. So that really grew my mindset. It really humbled me really like a lot. Like meeting someone like Amber, I know she just messaged, like it's crazy because I got a gift from this person called Amber through my mail one time at the very beginning of my 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 journey, or when I just started. And then Tanya messaged me. Tanya's like, she's a multimillionaire. She's like at top of the company. She's been in here for a long time and this and that. And then I meet her later on at one of these lifestyle getaways, and she's just like this bubbly, like person that like is like so nice and like talking to me. And I was just like, is this what it's like to be successful in this company? Like, I want to be like that. So, you know, becoming a leader is really about how you, I think, how you make people feel, like how you, how obviously like the culture of the team that you have. And I'm saying this, like if you have one person on your team, you are a leader, and how you make them feel makes a difference. How you make them feel is important. You know, if you have one person, you're like, I'm not a leader, like I only have one person like working with me, blah blah blah, like that's why you're not growing. That's why you don't have another person joining your team. You know, if you have one person or two person and you take that time to spend with them and to work with them, to train with them, to connect them to like the bigger community and stuff, you know, they're going to feel that, and they're going to duplicate that. They're going to bring in that second person that they're going to work with, and they're going to make them feel the same way. So I think being a leader is all about like duplication and how you're making people feel. What, you know, it's not just, you know, signing them and helping them get these bonuses or this and that, right? So no, I think that was like the biggest thing. Like being a leader is just like not about yourself. It's not about, you know, you helping people get their ranks, you helping, because I got all my ranks and I got all this money and stuff, right? But I never knew what it was like to build a team. So yeah, I think that was like my big aha moment when it did come to like what I wanted to be as a leader, how I wanted to make people feel, the kind of culture and the kind of community I wanted to build. Now that I meet people on my team, you know, they're like, they come up and introduce themselves to me, and they're like, oh, twin, this and that. Like, I don't even know what levels they are on. I just know that they're part of my team. I don't know what ranks they are. I don't know how much they contributed to the team, but they are still a part of us, right? And that's what I learned from all these amazing leaders ahead of before us.
I love that. I was at Amber's event over the weekend, and she is very, very humble and very welcoming, and just a very, very sweet person. So what would you suggest, or what advice would you give to somebody that is maybe feeling stuck in their business and not knowing the next steps to take?
Go back to the beginning of you starting Thrive. Okay. You guys, 4 years and a bit into this business, I still catch myself driving and thinking like, wow, like 4 years ago, I was tired. I was exhausted. I was not in the right mental space. I was grumpy. I hated life, you know. I still reflect back, and I never forgot how I felt, and I never forget how these products have changed my life. Not even the opportunity, like these products, like, you know, if I don't make a single dime from Lavelle again, I will be forever a thriver still, because it's the product that what started it all, right? So if you guys are in, you know, this thing where you're like, I'm not growing, my team's not growing, well, is that going to make you stop thriving? Is that going to be what stops you from sharing the Thrive experience and helping people? And I share with you guys my story from like way back when, before, you know, the struggle bus that I was on as a single mom, you know, having no money for bills, getting shit cut off. Like I share that because that story or that struggle reminds me every single day that, you know, there is someone out there that's going through the same shit that I went through, and I need to help them, you know, because had Thrive come into my life at that time when I was struggling, maybe I didn't have to send my son away. Maybe, you know, my internet wouldn't, my cable wouldn't get cut off, you know, maybe my phone bill wouldn't get cut off, and I couldn't call anyone for like 2 days until I got it reactivated, right? Maybe I didn't have to call my mom and lie to her and be like, like, mom, like I started a new job and, I'm in probation period and I don't get paid for like 3 weeks. Like I need an extra $500 to pay for rent. Like maybe I didn't have to lie to her about that. Right. So I always remember, even whatever dollar that you make in this business, however, whoever falls off, whoever comes on, you cannot forget why you started and how much these products have helped you and why you guys are all doing this. You're doing this for yourself, but you're doing this to change lives. You're doing this to help that person that needs these products. You're doing that to, help that mom that, completely lost herself. You're doing it to help that, single mom that, doesn't see their kids, right? So go back to that, because if you're grateful for those little things, you wouldn't be ungrateful for the things that are not going great in this business. And remember, this is a commission business. You guys are allowed to write your own checks. The more effort that you guys put in every single day, how you wake up and how much time you spend talking to people and how many lives you change, like that determines your next week's paycheck. Not what you're doing, not what you're going to be like, not what's happening right now in your business, not what has been happening. It's what you do today. So remember that, right? Always go back to the beginning of why you started and start sharing all over again, right? Start thinking about the next lives that you're going to change or the next person that you're going to help, earn those bonuses, or you're going to like start thinking about other people and stop thinking about the things that are going wrong now. So that's what I would do, if I ever am in a slump, I'm like, what, why did I start this? Why am I still doing this? Who needs my help right now?
I love that. And you're right. Everybody needs to hear your story. And there's somebody that is going through some of the things that you have gone through in the past. So it's our job to just continue to share and share different pieces of our stories, because we don't ever know what other people are going through, what's actually happening behind closed doors, because people don't share that stuff. So sharing what the products are doing for us, sharing what the business has done for us. That's our job. And just continuing, and again, we just never know who needs to hear what we have to say. All right. Anything else you'd like to just leave everybody with?
My biggest tip, you guys, is consistency. Even if you have seasons that you don't feel like people are watching, or you don't feel like people are signing up, or you don't feel like you're getting anyone on Thrive, you're not signing promoters, like there are seasons for everything. And when you feel like there's nothing going on, that's the time that you guys need to plant the most seeds. So I've gone through times or months that I don't sign, that I don't get anyone new joining this business, or I don't get anyone new on Thrive, right? It's just what it is, right? Unless you're continuing to grow your network, meeting new people. And even when you meet those new people, it's not like you can get them on Thrive right away. You have to start planting those seeds and building that relationship. So, I've had over the last few days, 6 old Thriver message me, and they're like, holy crap, I miss it. Like, I want to start thriving again. Those aren't new Thrivers, but they're new Thrivers to me because they're starting their Thrive experience again. So I consider that a win, right? And that just shows me like the consistency and the seeds that I've been planting in the last 4 months. Like it's been working, like the consistency of showing up every single morning, showing on your story, like, hey, these 2 capsules, replace my coffee, giving me energy. Like that's getting to people, right? Educating people, them in a witty way. Like, I never used to go to the washroom, but thank God for these shakes. Like I'm regular now, like, who doesn't need that, right? It's getting to people now. And it's a consistency of showing up and sharing what these products are doing for you every single day. That's what's helping, that's the kind of seed that you guys need to plant when there is a time or a place where not very many things are happening, because, then when people are ready to thrive again, or when people are ready to thrive, they will come looking for you. But if you're not consistent, if you're not showing up every single day for your business, if you're not continuing to share why you started these products or what these products are doing for you, those people that have fallen off in the past and the new people that want to get on, they're not going to reach out for you. They're not going to think of you. They're going to think about someone else, right? Who is being more consistent. So I think that is like the number one thing that we all need to be, to really, really that's the biggest tip that I can give you guys, is to be consistent and sharing your story, because, you know, after 4.5 years, people fall on, people fall off, new people on, new people off, they fall off. But they always come back. Like somehow they always come back because something in their life happens, and then they think of you and they think of Thrive. So yeah, consistency, I think. And it's so cliche to hear, but I think we have to be reminded every single day of it, right?
I absolutely agree with you. I know Toby wants to pop on and just say something before we end this. So go ahead, Toby.
Hi, everybody. Okay, you guys. So I love Tuyen. I love everything about her. She has been the person that's been helping me like since my business. Like I was so lost because like my upline's like gone. Like she's not really around anymore. And I actually went to Tuyen because I like saw her on Instagram on like Lavelle's like fan page, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna DM this girl. I'm gonna see what happens. And like that's how our relationship really started. So Tuyen is like one of the most like humble like people I've ever met. Like she helps me so much, and like we're not on the same team. Like I'm on Jody's team, like downline, and like I'm not on Twins team at all. And like she lets me, you know, sit in on her training. She lets me like she trains me so much. Like I ask her waiting room questions and like all this stuff. So I just want to give her a huge shout out because like she is so amazing, and like she does not give herself enough credit, you guys. Like if you guys don't know, Twins team is literally like the fastest growing team in this company. She's didn't even say she's a freaking Lavelle millionaire. She just hit that this past year. Like you guys, like she is a beast at this business. She's enrolled some amazing people. Like they're, if you guys ever go out to like events or like Palooza or anything, they're like the loudest crowd. They're having so much fun. Like they're the best people to hang out with. So I just want to give you like a huge shout out. And like if there's something I can say about Tuyen, it's that she'll do absolutely anything in this business, because like I've seen her, you know, on Instagram, she like uses her Facebook got shut down, but she still uses her partner's Facebook, you know, her she'll do belly to belly. Like she does not care. She'll do literally anything to work this business. Like I got the honor to travel with you for 6 weeks, and like I saw so many like belly to belly, like training people, like sitting there. Like she is so humble, you guys, and like I just don't think she gives herself enough credit that she deserves. So if you guys have the opportunity to like meet her, if you guys are going to Vegas, go up and introduce yourself, because she is such like, excuse my language, she's a bad bitch in this business. So like if you guys have the chance, just literally go talk to her. And I promise you, like I love her so much, and I don't think she gives herself enough credit. So I just wanted to add that.
Oh my God, you're so nice. You're too nice. Stop.
It's we have heard so many twin stories, and we love it. So I feel like even though this is the first time you and I have actually chatted, I feel like I already know you because of all the things Toby has shared with me. So it was really, really fun to have you on today and just hear your journey. I've heard you, you know, on other leaders calls and stuff, but this was really awesome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to hop on and just share your journey and just share your encouragement with everybody. So thank you everybody too for taking some time out of your Wednesday to hop on and to hear from Tuyen. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me. Bye.